there could be an investment firm that might want to come in and invest you, and maybe here. Over here, where you're making your 750K at 3 million, they may not even talk to you. Is it scalable? Maybe. Maybe it's not scalable. Maybe this business isn't scalable. So what would you do? Right? You'd have to come up with another plan, right, on how to grow the business. You don't want to sit and just get complacent, because one day it's going to stop. It's going to go away, right? And that's another mistake that all these entrepreneurs make, is that they're making money and they just kind of sit on their thumbs. They're never building their pipeline and hustling and doing other things to scale the business, to support the business. So if, God forbid, that went away, you still have other revenue streams coming in. And guess what? Hopefully it doesn't go away. And now you have 2 revenue streams coming in, and 3 revenue streams. And now your business is growing. You're making more money than you could ever even thought of or dreamed of. And life's good. And everybody around you is making money also. We're all happy, right? So these are really important things you need to figure out, right? Like, when you're scaling a business, right, it's natural that if you're going to go from 250K in top line revenue versus going to $1 million a month, you may have to work on smaller margins, right? And that's okay, right? But it has to make sense. The numbers need to work, right? So like when you're doing that, and we talk about this all the time in my company, right? When you're doing that, right, at $1 million, at 65%, right? If we can get from 250 to 1 million a month in top line revenue, you're doing 12 million a year, and now our costs go up to 65% a month. We stay at the 25% operational costs, and now we're netting $1.2 million. What is that? It's 10% net profit percentage, right? I should show that here, right? So here, net margin percentage. Yeah, I just want to show you this, right? Because these are very different companies. A company over here doing $5 million in top line is massive, man. It's massive, right? Well, looking at their numbers, well, they're working on 20%, and they have operational costs at 15%. What does that mean? Wait, 15% for a company doing $5 million versus these companies over here, 750, 500, 250,000 top line. So their percentages are 25% of their revenue. Why would a company that's doing 5 million have a smaller percentage on the operational side? Wouldn't they have more people, right? Wouldn't they have more costs? Wouldn't the numbers be right? And the answer is yes, they would. But you got to understand, these percentages are all based off of how much money you're making, right? So if you look here, if you're making $5 million a month, only 15% of their operational costs is coming off that top line. They're still spending $750,000 a month on all of the operational costs, salaries, people, and everything else that comes with ops, right? Versus someone that's at $187,000 a month, or $125,000, or $62,000, right? So like at the end of the day, it costs them $4 million to generate the $5 million on a month-to-month basis, and they're at 80%. So they're working at much smaller margins over here than all the other companies. They're working at 30%, right? They're at 35, they're at 50, right? So if you look, they're at a 5% net margin percentage. Look at the top line revenue, $60 million. Wow. It's a big deal, right? Yeah. When you look at that, what's crazy about it is, if you look here, they're making $3 million off that 60. Now it depends on the type of business, but if you wanted to sell that company, usually they want to have a sales force, they want to have some volume. Maybe you want to go public, right? At $60 million, they can give you a multiple on the top line or the bottom line. The bottom line is your net, it's your take home, versus your top line is your total revenue. So there are times where companies will acquire other companies to get the revenue from them, right? They care about the net margin, but They need the revenue. They need to take their business. They need to be north of, let's say, 150 million, right? And currently, one company is doing 95 million, right? So when they acquire this company that did 60 million at 155 million, and now all of a sudden, maybe they can go public on the stock market, and you get shares, and then people start to buy your shares, and you start to create serious wealth, right? And the whole plan there, right, is yeah, you have your business you're running, and you're only working on a 5% net margin for this current business, but now the stock market starts to trade, and there's X amount of outstanding shares. You get, let's say, 1 million shares from selling this company. So you have 1 million shares of the parent company, and now the stock IPO is at $10. Guess what? That stock to you is worth $10 million. There's no cost to that. You're a shareholder. You have $10 million of stock. That has nothing to do with the 5% that you're making within the company. That's definitely more detail on strategies that companies have, but it's massive. So there's a lot of different things. That all comes down to, what is your plan? What is your plan? What kind of company do you want? What is your plan?